Every sheriff up here took a sworn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. But the responsibility, the absolute critical responsibility, the shame that has come upon us by the infliction of our own government's actions towards us rests only in one person's hands, and that's our own. We have been asleep too long. We have allowed government to dictate. We have allowed parties to tell us who they were going to give us as our candidates. We have allowed people to stand by, and we have allowed this to happen to our country. Our founding fathers saw this, understood it, warned us about it, but they also gave us the tools to repair and to fix our country. I am thankful to each of you for being here, because only with your commitment, your strength, your determination, your passion, can we not only hold each and every one of our local politicians accountable and responsible, as we should always insist upon, but we can take back our country. Even if it's a county by county, we can take it back. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Bruce Haney, Sheriff of Trinity County. This is, we're sitting up here not just as individual sheriffs, we're sitting up here as a united group. That's why we're here tonight. We have, we're rural counties. I mean, Trinity County is a little over 20% unemployment. It is, depending on how you want to phrase it, managed or mismanaged. 80% of our county is federally managed or mismanaged, however you want to. So we do have resources. We have timber, but we have such a high unemployment rate. We have a small permanent population in our county. We are probably an easier target than Siskiyou, and we have a couple of dams as well. So that's why this is so important for all of us to be sitting up here, united, as I believe most people in the audience are here tonight. In Trinity County, the government has such a nice spin, or a nice way to phrase things. The travel plan. Doesn't that sound nice? It sounds, all we have to do is sign up and we're part of the travel plan, right? No, what it is the travel plan is to keep us off of public lands is what it is. In the southern part of our county, I found out just a couple of weeks ago that they're decommissioning roads. They haven't discussed that with the sheriff's office. What does that mean? I'll tell you, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've had 4 major search and rescue operations go on. It's hunting season, so people from other counties come and they get lost. Without these roads, we don't have a way to look for them. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've flown over the forest before, but you can't see much on the ground. So again, these are public safety issues that affect not only the way we do our jobs, but it affects the way we have access to to public lands. They forgot that. Have you ever heard the term federally owned? Is there such a thing? Don't we own it? Aren't we the people? Right. So I'll tell you what. Here's my theory: is that if we have one lumber mill left in the county. Yeah, I know we are, and that's because he decided to stick it out. But I'll tell you what: if he tries to put a lumber plan or a harvest plan together, you've got all the lawsuits, the environmentalists come out. I'm going to tell you, I believe that our federal government's been inundated with environmentalists. I think that's why these things get shut down. You know, I'm gonna agree with probably 99.9% everything that the sheriffs are going to say up here. We are a united group. You need to be united as well, which I believe you are. But there's something that as I look over this crowd, I see a mature, hard-working group of people. But there's something I see that's missing as well. And along with being united, we need to educate our most valuable resource, and that's our youth. Our youth is being indoctrinated through public school programs, the college system. We need to, you know what, I've got a son. I saw a guy standing back up there with an Oregon State sweatshirt on. My son goes to Oregon State. And I tell you what they see in those colleges, you know, fortunately my son grew up in a home where he goes, that's not how it's supposed to work. But not every kid has. So along with uniting together as a group, because, you know, I'm a citizen up here too. That's what I am. I rely on those dams staying in place so that the man I buy hay from, who I got 4 tons sitting out on my trailer right now, maybe it better still be there. That's not funny. So that he can continue to do business, right? I mean, this country was formed off people, it was formed off rural America. I mean, we haven't been non-rural for very long, even with the big cities we have right now. This is where it starts. This is where we fight. You know, we're not fighting for just the rights and our abilities to act as citizens within our counties. This is about being Americans. You know, we didn't get these rights and privileges. We fought for them. Our forefathers fought and died and bled for them. We have to remember where our freedoms came from. And I'll tell you this, and I'll end with this. I'll stand by each one of you, no matter what the fight is, to maintain this United States of America. And I'll stand up here with every sheriff as well. Thank you.
Good evening, and thanks everybody for sticking with us. You know, a few months ago, Sheriff Wilson hosted a meeting in his county, invited myself and some other sheriffs up and Southern Oregon sheriffs up, and it was about, I heard a little bit about Fred Kelly Grant and the 10th Amendment, did a little more reading on it. Of course, I heard it in my county from some citizen groups, and that was very educational. A couple of years ago, we learned also about the travel management plan and decommissioning of roads, and my supervisor, he's here tonight with me, Supervisor Les Baugh, we held a rally with citizens near the U.S. Forest Service to basically, don't tread on us, and this is our land, and you're shutting us out, the citizens of America, and that's a big concern. Fortunately, the Board of Supervisors, they enacted coordination in March of 2010. Our Public Works Director went out and surveyed the roads they wanted to change, and we went back with them. And so far, we're waiting to hear back from them, but things are looking pretty good, looking smooth. We'll see where that takes us, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. Many of the things I'm going to talk about is the sheriffs are all facing here in their counties too. Illegal marijuana, and this is being primarily grown on public lands. Primarily California, we've been invaded by a group of well-armed, well-financed, and well-organized armed foreign nationals on American soil. They're doing illegal activities. They're shooting at our citizens, killing our citizens, taking our game, and ruining our environment for our use. And we've talked about harvest plans and how many hundreds of thousands of dollars legitimate businesses have to go to try and get a piece of lumber done, but they don't have harvest plans. Well, they have harvest plans, but they're all illegal. And nor do they care about the environment. And that's huge, but yet our federal land, quote, management agencies haven't done a whole lot to manage those. It usually falls to the responsibility of the sheriffs. And so if they were going to have that responsibility, we should have the funding that's coming from the federal government to better manage those lands and protect our citizens. Proposition 215, the Compassionate Use Act, medical marijuana, that's been a huge, huge escalating problem. Don't want to say growing because that might be a pun. But finally, a lot of citizens are standing up and saying, you know, enough is enough. It's not what it was designed for, or it's being abused. You might see some involvement by the federal government recently. We're going to see how that develops, but there still needs to be changes there. Land use, I talked a little bit about, but it still needs to be monitored closely and don't let it creep up. You saw the map of the United States with all the red on it and those monuments. And there was another seminar I went to at our logging conference in Shasta County. The other parts that we're concerned about, and our supervisor took this on a few months ago, was tank, which they were going to try and put big transmission lines across everybody's property, but not really pay them for it. It was going to ruin their land values. And that started out as a grassroots effort, and it finally got derailed a couple of years ago because of public interest and public involvement, and it got a life of its own, and it finally stopped it. Well, it stopped it for now, because I think at some point it'll probably come back. And my supervisor in the back, he can talk a little bit more. Hey, Les, will you hold up your hand? He's right there in the back. Supervisor Les Baugh. Thanks. And you're hearing a little bit about, in the newspaper, Assembly Bill 109, the prison realignment. That's a big concern because a lot of money, they're shifting prisoners to the county responsibility, parolees. They're not opening the gates of the prisons and letting people run out, but they're usually people that will be returning here anyway. And if that money dries up, we'll still be, all the counties will be on the hook for that responsibility. And where's that money coming from? Because we know the financial ability of our counties here in Northern California is not very good. We're kind of living year to year in our budgets, and they're pretty tight. So we still have to, we're closely working as state sheriffs with our association to work with the governor's office and work with the legislature to try and get that more balanced so at least the funding comes there. You know, and also I'd like to thank Sheriff Lope not only for getting this meeting together, but we saw these land use issues, going back to that, coming up. He saw that, and he asked to form a lands use committee with the California State Sheriff's Association, an ad hoc committee, and all of us are on that committee right now. There's a couple of other sheriffs on it, and then we're going to be watching and monitoring, meeting with some of those land agencies. We've named them off here, Fish and Game and Forest Service, BLM, and the others, to try and take that on statewide as an association with 58 total county sheriffs. And then there's the Western States Association of Sheriffs, so that's basically west here, the Rockies, and that's on their radar screen. And then also the National Sheriff's Association, and that's starting to come up on their radar screen. So we're starting to also collaborate and come together as a united front of sheriffs to address these issues that do impact us all. And go ahead. And Sheriff Lope says, yeah, the basic thing is safety, because many things do boil down to public safety. But before we can be fit, either mentally or physically fit, before we can be educated either ourselves or for our children and our grandchildren, before we can enjoy the great North State here, or our parks and the outdoors, even our homes, the businesses to thrive, we have to be safe. And government's first responsibility, and that's been said many times, it's in our California Constitution, Ronald Reagan has said it, is government's first responsibility is to protect its citizens. So thank you all very much for being here. We're trying